Uh, Welcome, hello. Uh, my name is Tenacious Earl, and um, this is Tabletop Baseball Plus. Um, we are a channel that focuses on tabletop sports. That's what the plus is about. It started with baseball, and we've got a couple of other sports that we play here on the channel. This one is golf. If you saw the previous video, which was the cut rounds. This is the 2018 American Open. It's a major. Purse is, which I didn't outline in the previous video, is $10 million. So it is a rich tournament, and someone's going to come out a very happy camper when all is said and done here at Founders Golf Club and Links, which is the play.com version of Shinnecock Hills. So if you're a golf fan, you would have just witnessed a tournament there at that course, and you may be able to visualize some of the holes if you paid attention. So where are we? Well, we are going into the third round, and what we do is the first three rounds are all simulation. If you saw the first and second rounds, we simulate golfers making the cut and missing the cut based on rolling and sometimes random, sometimes well-rated golfers or good golfers. And we had 73 make the cut, which is a pretty good number. We'll take that any day of the week. So we have two golfers that are. So now what we do is, if you saw the other video, we take everybody that made the cut and we divide them into piles, and then we use a very similar roll, which will roll. We roll two d6s, and the combinations from there will indicate how to identify golfers. Hi Tribe fan. I'm not sure if you're still around, but didn't mean to not. I see now I have no viewers, and I guess I didn't acknowledge, but that's okay. So we split them into 7 piles. Now you would think, why not 8? 7's kind of a weird number. Well, there are 8 piles, but any golfer that was an outstanding golfer from the cut determination, which there were 2 of them, they get their own pile. So there are 8 piles, but one of them has very exclusive company, and they have a very good shot, maybe both of them, of making the pairings that will come out after this process is over. What we will then also, in this process, we'll set up our score sheet, and we will determine the weather conditions and determine any perks or issues are generated by the process that we have here. I'll try to show you the sheet here in a second. So let's get to going on this. I'm not sure if the viewer is Tribe fan. Hi, Tribe fan. I didn't mean to ignore you. I'm glad you're back if it's you. If not, then that's okay too. I'm glad that whoever is hanging out with me here is hanging out with me. Decided to do this one live on the channel just because sometimes people like to have a place to chat it up. So we can chat it up if you want. Can answer questions about the way this is carried out. If you have any specific questions. Now this, let's zoom it in a little bit here. Here is my pile of cards that came from the made the cut. So I'm going to want to shuffle those up a bit. I also have these 2 here. Heath Sommers and Gil Granbury are the 2. Those are the 2 that are outstanding. They're going to get their own pile. Like I said, I have to divide that bigger pile that is right over here into 7. I'll zoom out just a little bit. So we'll put these guys over here in a pile over on this side. Also, let's real quick mention up here, and maybe what I should do is utilize a little more of the camera's width here, so you can actually see all of the designations. We have grades that are given to a golfer or a group of golfers each time that we roll the two D6s for a pile. Okay, and anything that comes up B minus. Well, I'll show you. Tell you what. Let me show you this too. These are the combinations, as you can see. Like 12, if you roll a 12, top golfer, which goes by rating, contends with A plus, which that's A plus. This guy right here, the star, and then others finish with B minus. So anything from B minus or below means that you finished the round in that category, and then there's a calculation at the end of everything, which gives you what the score is for each golfer, and so that allows us to track some statistics in the process of doing these tournaments. We can set, like I said, the scores so we can get a scoring average. It helps us to then divvy out the money as we go down through here. And I use a money system that is, and a point system that is very similar to the PGA Tour. Let's turn these guys over here and let's try to shuffle these up a bit. So I'm just trying to do it like you would a normal deck of cards. We paired it down from 156 to 73, and two of them are right here in their own pile. And we're just doing the best we can here. It's really, shuffling these cards is difficult at times. They kind of like to stick together a bit, but we do the best we can. This is a mixture. So if you're interested in this particular, so the courses are sets that are sold by Play, and these cards right here are also sold by Play. It's the website is plaay.com if you're interested. I also have cards in here that I have prepared, and they give you can purchase a guide, which is pretty cheap, where you can learn how to make your own cards and maybe even card out a set of golfers from a year that you're interested in replicating. So there's a lot. You don't have all the courses for those years, but if you're interested to see how a group of golfers, and I think I've mentioned before, the History Maker Golf setup, it is just like History Maker Baseball. It's really great for kind of creating a new history, creating a new kind of a narrative as you go along, as opposed to just trying to replay and reconstitute a season that already happened. It's probably, I'm sure it's good for that, but it's probably not. I mean, I know Baseball Demos, David over there, if you're interested, he did a Braves replay with History Maker Baseball, and so you can do it, and I'm sure he could. He probably offers a lot of commentary in his videos about how History Maker Golf or History Maker Baseball ended up with that. Like I said, History Maker Golf, you don't have all the courses available, but anyway, let's get going. So we take this pile here, and we need to make 7. This is how I do it. I cut the first one into 3, so right off the bat. So you try to do that as best you can. It's kind of difficult to do, and this also ends up giving you a little bit of randomization if you do it a little different way. Like you take a couple from here and one from here. So let me see. This one may be a little heavy now, so all right, that's pretty good. So there's 3. Actually, I did this wrong. So here, let's start over. I forgot how I did it. I don't usually do that. What I do is I make 8, and then I divide one of the lesser piles that comes out in the end. So, all right, so these, you put your hand over these. You can feel if they're pretty similar. You can also kind of eyeball them. This one's a little heavier, I think. So then we split this into 2. And each of these into 2, that'll make 4. And again, you want to, you're trying to make them even. It's as it says in the rule book or the how-to guide. It doesn't need to be exact, and it's the same thing here. Now we're going to split these all in half. This one's a little heavy. That's probably pretty close. Pretty close. This one here is probably move one over there. That'll work. And then let's try and All right, let's see. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here, 1 to 8. I'm going to roll this, and so 8 will be the pile that we divvy up. So I'm going to go here, 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 here. 2 more. Which ones are the most? This one looks like it needs more. Probably both of them. All right. So there. So now we've got 7. And plus the outstanding pile, which is right here. So now what we end up doing from here on out is we roll on this chart here with the 2 D6s. And for each roll, we will determine which of the, which cards in here are going to make it. Now, if they end up in A through B plus or even B, they have a chance to be in the final pairings. If they end up down here, they're going to be finishing with that in that sort of group, we'll say. All right, so pile 1. Let's see if we can maybe zoom it in a little bit. Just moving these things out of the way. This one here. And so I will, whoa, I dropped the die. Let's make sure we roll these up and get them random. So 24. Now let's take a look at the chart here. 24. It says top golfer contends with A. Now this little lightning bolt means that he will also get a tourney, perk, or issue. Okay, everybody else will finish with C+. So the top golfer is going to be at A. This is A right here, which means could either be in the lead, could be 1 behind the lead, could also be 2 or 3 back of the lead if somebody gets an A+. But okay, so we just look at the top golfer that comes out of this pile. So let's start with this one. Rance Aberley is 2A. Will the next card beat 2A? Ryan Broadus, no, that's 4B. He will go over here. So let's go next. 2C is Burke Yielding. That's a no. Who's next? Carson Rodell, 1C is better than 2A. 2A is better than 2C. 2C is much better than 4B. But 1C is better than 2A. So the number in front is the lower the better. And then the letter designation, the higher the letter, the better. So A is better than B, better than C. You get the drift. So now, is anybody going to beat Rodell? Justin Wallace is 2A, no. Dustin Jimenez, no. He's a 3C. 5B, Kenny Service, that's too bad. Augie Cameraman, a 3C, nope. Ji-Woon Ko is a 3A, no. And finally, Evan Aldrich, a 2A, he's going to miss out. So because we only had the top golfer out of this pile, it really gave nobody a chance who had a lower tournament rating, which is this guy right here. So these guys are all going to finish at C+. And so we put those guys right back here. That means they finish there. And Carson Rodell will go over here in front of A. And I'm going to write him down as getting a tourney, perk, or issue. And then we will roll more on that a little later. Okay, so now we'll take pile number 2 right here, and we will shake them up good. Shake them up well, good. That's horrible English, but if you know me, I'm from the sticks, and we don't care for that good of English up there. 16. So if you look at 16, so here we will get a random golfer at A-. The top golfer will go to A with Carson Rodell, and then everybody else is going to finish down at D+, which is just out of the screen here. So the way I do this, we're going to put 16 right there and where we can see it. I fan the cards out like this. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 cards in there. And fortunately, I got almost all of it in the screen there. So now what I'll do is I will roll a D20. 1 through 8 comes up is fine. 9 through 16 we can just take. We could subtract 8 from the number, and that will give us which card we need. And this will be the draw golfer that goes to A minus, and also gets a tourney, perk, or issue. And it's a 4. You can't see it because it's off the screen, but it's a 4. Rolled a little too far, and guess what? That's going to be Harley Villanueva, one of my custom cards. His only designation is he is a gold putter. He is a very good putter. He will also maybe get a, you never know, he might lose that gold putting, but let's write him down here for a perk or issue. Okay, so now the top golfer at this point will also, I'm going to put them back together in the order I fanned them out, and then we will do them from top golfer will be with Rodell at A. So first one is going to be Shinji Kanishi at 2B. I don't think he's going to last, but we'll see. 3A for Danny Gallatin. We'll miss out on the being in contention. 2A, everything seems to be upside down. Palmiro Cavallari at 2A will knock Shinji Kanishi out of the running for that. Now, who's next? Smokey Novak, a 3B, no. Ellis Moberly, a 3C, is a no. Is there going to be a 1 here in the final 2 that we have in the deck? Nate Killo, 4A, we saw him in a recent tournament. He will not make it into that final grouping. And finally, David Alvestad, a 3C. So everybody else finishes at D+, which is over here. Just see it out of the corner. And Palmiro Cavallari, top golfer from that group, and he will be at A along with Rodell. Okay, so let's take the third pile right there. 14. 14. Top golfer will be at A. Others will finish at C. So another top golfer only roll. So our first one is going to be Adam Trenchard, 2B. There's plenty of guys who can beat that. Boyd Yeager's a 3B, nope. Dell Hutton, a 4A. Of course, a couple of them are over here in this pile right here. There's 2 1Bs, Heath Summers and Gil Granbury. So that takes him on a 2B. Bob Demelmeyer, a guy from the Slacker Tour, who's most definitely going to make the TGT for next year. If he doesn't win a tournament here, he could win this Open. He is a very good golfer. So we have a tie right now, and what we would have to do is we would have to do an auxiliary roll unless a 1 comes up here. Kason Wong, a 4A, nope. 2A, Gail Honorado is going to beat Adam Trenchard and Bob Demelmeyer. Those are 2Bs. 2A is better. So Honorado, currently the top golfer in the pile. Martin Van Dyke, a 1C, is going to beat Honorado. Dave Simanowicz Jr., nope. Believe he is a winner on tour. And finally, Ian Robards, a 3A, nope. It'll be Martin Van Dyke. Everybody else goes to C right here. Martin Van Dyke with a 14 is at A, so he will join Rodell and Cavallari there. Okay, so the fourth pile. Shake them up as fine as we can. 25. So a draw golfer contends with A. So we're going to have 4 golfers in that A. We don't have an A plus yet. Top golfer will be at A minus. The others finish with C. So that C pile will get a little bit bigger. And with 25, that also means that the draw golfer will get an issue. So we draw, Ernie Perk, or issue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is where it can get a little hairy if you are a little less, if you don't get your piles quite so even. So you're going to have a draw golfer out of 11, and we'll roll the D20. It is 16, so that won't work for us. 4 will work. Number 4 is right here. This guy will be at 25, will be at A. Kenji Morita, 2B, he's going to be at A. We'll put him right over here. He will get a tourney perk or an issue. Okay, and the same thing as before. I'm going to try and stack these back up and reveal them in order of the way that we fan them out, so that way I like this. It kind of gives a little bit of drama. We get to see all the cards that made the cut. I see everybody is bugged out, which is okay. Hopefully they come back. I think internet connectivity can lead to that as well. But our first golfer is going to be Tom Sudbury at 3A. I would venture to say he will get beat, maybe even on the next card here. Let's see, 3 seed, Damari Arias. Nope. So he is if you could tell, sometimes you can just, if you have a good connection, you got good resolution, you can see those two cards are not the same dimensions. This one is a little wider, and so you can kind of tell my, that's why I like to use the roll when we're doing draw, because I don't want to bias myself by having the fatter cards where I know that something could be there. Next up is 3C for Dale George. So there's Sudbury survives those two, and a 3B for John Reasoner. He'll survive that as well. But Trent McAdams is a 1B, and he is going to send Tom Sudbury down the leaderboard, crashing down. So now only Dustin Emmerich, I think, would beat Trent McAdams. Joshua New, a 3A, nope. Duncan Kramer, a 5B. At this point, you would prefer to have Emmerich in one of these other 3 piles down here, but we will see. Myung Cho, 2A, he can be a tough guy. Yun Lee Song is another tough one. You would rather not have either. Dustin Emmerich, it's going to knock McAdams out of our pile here, our lead pile. And so who else do we have? Cliff Pettibone. So we had a couple of good golfers in there. These guys are going to all go to C. Emmerich will go to A-. The top golfer contends with A-. So we're going to have the guy who is somewhat biased to end up winning the money list at the end, points or whatever. The tournament ratings, that's really what it does, is it somewhat sets up that final list. You get a little bit of advantage based on that, both in being a top golfer, but also when you're in these piles, it will help your score. So, all right, let's do another D6 roll for pile 5. Currently, so we're halfway through, and we have 6 golfers in the final pairings. That's good. We want an A. We'd like an A+ at some point. Another 25. I rolled those things around a while. So another draw golfer will get a perk or issue, and will also be at A. So we're going to have a lot of A guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 golfers in this pile, and 1 will join Merida, Van Dyke, Cavallari, and Rodell in the A designation. 14 will not do the job. Neither will 20. We need 1 to 11. There's 6. So this is number 6 right here. And number 6 is Nick Yarlett. I think we have seen him recently in a final pairing or two. So again, we're going to pull these guys back together in the way we fan them out. And we will reveal the top golfer of the pile one by one and see who is the top golfer here. So in this pile. And that top golfer will get A- along with Emmerich and Villanueva. So the first one off of it is Jimmy Kimes. He gets extra control. I don't think he's going to make it this time. I think that 3A is ripe for the picking. Next card is 5B Alardo Huerta. Not good enough. 3C Malcolm Wiles. Nope. Chase Stevenson. That's another no. So we're let's see. We had 9 left after Kimes, so we're a third of the way through. He's made it through a third. 2B. Greer Copeland III knocks out Kimes. So Copeland III, currently the top golfer. Benicio Vasquez, 3B, no. 4B, Gary Patel. Dalton Solomon is a 4A. That won't work. Riker Bolton, a 3C. Nope. Finally, John Westinghouse, a 3A. So they are all going to be at C. We're going to have a huge C pile. Greer Copeland III will make it into the final pairings. So 3 more piles to roll, including the 2 and the outstanding. So let's see. We've been getting a lot of similar rolls here tonight. Let's see if we can. And I want to make sure these cards do not get too jumbled up. So 33. More in the C pile. The top golfer is going to get a perk or issue. Contend with A. We still don't have an A+. So and no others will make it in. We don't have any B's or B+, which are where your emerging contenders come from. Will Janis, 3B. He's going to get knocked out by somebody. Barrett Rowland, 3C. Well, he won't make it. Alec Newcomb, no. Tagaki Yamasaki, a 3C. So Will Janis surviving so far. 3B, that's going to be a tie. Todd Ahrens. Of course, anybody lower than that will knock them both out of the top golfer designation. Mackay Berry's a 2B. He will knock him out. Darren Sears, 3A, no. Shane Smith, 4A, no. Greg Millwood, 4C, not going to do it. Mateo Soto, a 2A, is going to knock out Barry. Now, what's the last card here? Ozzy Valenti. So we're going to get one of my custom cards in here. He'll be at A, and he'll get a tourney perk or issues. Mateo Soto. I didn't create too many high-rated cards, but those 2 guys are, and somehow they seem to get stuck together a lot. But to the C pile, we're getting a lot of C's now. We will roll for pile 7. Yunli Song ought to be in that one. 35, not 53. 30. Draw golfer contends with A. Top golfer contends with A-. Others contend with B. So we will get some potential emerging contenders here. So let's draw 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so any number here on the roll will get the job done. 1, it will be the very first one, and it will be Gooch Wilborg. So it was 35, no perks or issues, but he will end up at A as well. So we're going to have a bunch of guys at A. And now we need to take the top golfer. And he will be at A-. So again, let's do this such that we reveal in order. Okay, so the first guy up is Nishiki Kawahara, and I'm just telling you, Yunli Song is going to be in here somewhere. There he is. 1B. It's probably going to be Anticlimactic Chico Fonseca, a 2C. I'll show you the card. No. I don't know if there's any other ones in here. Sunny Lemons. He likes to, when life gives you lemons, root for Sunny Lemons. Enrique Magallanes. He's going to be in the contenders at B. Gareth Leonard. How about that? 2 1Bs in the same pile. I forgot about Gareth Leonard. Su Cheng 10 will not make it. Marus Hirano. Well, they're going to be contenders at the very least. So Steve Foshi. Foshi for sure. So they will be contending at B right here. Okay. So now we could end up with an A. We could end up with 2 A minuses. We could end up with an A minus and a B plus. We could end up with 2 B pluses out of this. Currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 and 12 would be good. We will include both of these guys in the final pairings, regardless of where this roll comes. But Yunli Song will be. So now what we do is we roll this decider die. The green dot means that they will be at their assigned ranking in the third round. Well, actually, I messed up. We still have the outstanding golfers. If we get one of these guys up here, then if we get one out of the outstanding, we'll be in good shape, and then we'll have a potential emerging contender out of B plus as well. So a green dot means they're going to go to their assigned, which was A minus, and if none, they will be at B plus. This is a 50-50 chance. You can see 3 dots, 3 knots. So here we go. Yunli Song was revealed first, so he will be the first to be rolled, and he's going to be at A minus. And now Gareth Leonard. Now what we're going to do, I'm changing my ruling on this because I really, we can only use one here. So whoever gets the knot, if we get 2 knots, then I'm going to re-roll again. So this is a little house rule that I'm somewhat developing for this, because it just, well, tell you what, they both got yes, so let's both put them both at A minus, and if we have to, we will rectify that later on. Okay, so the final pair, final group, is this twosome right here. And so this is where we roll the 2 D6s and we figure out how these guys are meted out. And so 24 golfer will be an A and the other will finish at C plus. And they're both 1Bs, so we will again, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do this. Heath Summers is a no. Gil Granbury is a no. So these guys are both going to go to B plus. They were both outstanding, but they're both going to be emerging contenders. That's the way the decider die writes the story, and that's the way it's going to go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are perfect. We don't have, let me do this. Let me zoom out a little bit. We don't have an A plus. That's okay. And actually, this will be helpful because this tournament, as I mentioned before, our target score is going to be 3 over par. It was based off of the winning score last weekend, which was 2 weekends ago, +1. And then I do a little modification rule. So now what we're going to need to do is pack up these cards here, and also I'm going to pack up those, and then we're going to set up the leaderboard. So let's do it this way. We're going to put these cards in here. Do this. all these C's, there's going to be sort of a weird log jam there, and then the C pluses. And the B minuses, nobody in that. And the B's and the two B pluses are going to lie in wait to see if they are going to be emerging contenders. I'm going to put them into their own little bag here. All these guys. And I can put these letter grades into my spreadsheet, and it will automatically calculate their final scores and everything, which is kind of nice. But let's... All right. And... Okay. So, what do we do from here? And also, I want to rewrite my list, so... All right, so just bear with me, Carson Rodell. So what we now do is we use the decide or die to tell us whether they are, there's two scores that they can have. If the dot is showing, they get the higher of the two scores, they get the lower of the two if it's not showing. See, this is where when I do offline videos, it is helpful because then I can kind of edit out some of the times like this. And then Mateo Soto. So how does this work? Okay, well, we're over 277 by a lot, right? Our target score is 283. So the target is going to be over 277. So what we do is we take the A's are either 211 or 212. So what is 211 when it comes to 3 round total? Well, on a par 70, 210 is even par. So this is 1 over or 2 over. So let's get out these cards. I may have to go upstairs and make some new cards that are a little more... because these guys are going to drop like flies. So it's going to be +1, +2, +3, and +4. That's as much as we're going to get. Let me just, actually I should put this down here probably. Excuse my finger as I block your view a little bit there for a second. But okay, so what happens here is with A, we get either 211 or 212 based on the decide or die dot or no dot, and then 213 or 214, which is 3 over or 4 over, and that will set up our final pairings as we do that. So let's start with the A's. It'll be Carson Rodell first. He will be at +1, 211. Palmiro Cavallari. That's also a dot, also at +1. That is a no for Martin Van Dyke, +2. Kenji Morita, that's a no. Nick Yarlett, yes. Mateo Soto, yes. So he's going to be tied for the lead. We'll see how he fares tomorrow. And then Gooch Wilborg, that's a no. All right, so that's going to be our leaders and within one shot. And now we go to the guys that'll be 2 and 3 back. So Harley Villanueva, he'll be 3 behind. Dustin Emmerich, he's going to be 2 back. Greer Copeland the third, 2 back. Yun Lee Song, 3 back. And finally, Gareth Leonard. That is a no, so that will also be 3 back. Okay, so that's our current situation. Okay, so now our next order of business, after getting our little designators up here from the letter grades, I'm going to put those into this so I don't lose them, is I'm going to set up the leaderboard like this. So at least for now, I'm going to set them up like this. I'm going to get out my little mini leaderboard type cards for when I start the round. Got these 3, and then you've got these 2, and then you've got these 3 right here. Okay, and I think that is all in the order that we nailed them down. So let's write them out here real quick. And let's just pull back here a little bit to show you kind of the full leaderboard that we have now, +1 all the way to +7. But these guys are going to be, we're going to put them in here. So actually, I'm not going to build the leaderboard right here on my, or I'm not going to build the score sheet right now because it's going to take a little too long. I don't want to waste your time. Let's roll on the tourney perks and issues. So I do this as a single roll, and we use the same chart. There's just a different portion of it. What we do is we roll, I roll 3 dice. I roll the white, I'm going to roll the white, the black, and the green. Okay, the green, when we play the game, the green is sort of like the end of the road, the white is the beginning of the road, and the black is somewhat in the middle. So what we do is the white equals each of these, whatever it shows is whatever section we roll off of. So, okay, so we roll them all at the same time. And we take the black one, and that tells us which of these sub categories we get. And then if we need a third roll, which tells us like how many blue chips or how many red chips, that's what the green is for. So Carson Rodell. We can also get till further notice stuff from this, which is might make somebody else available for a future tournament. We've currently have 5 guys with TFN designations. 4 of them are injuries, so one of those injuries will come off if we get a TFN here. So here is Carson Rodell. So he'll be 5, which is going to be a trainer issue. And then the 2 is the second one. That's going to be gain a choice quality. And then we don't have a number, but we do have a question mark. So what we'll do is we will roll the decider die. If it is a yes, then it is a till further notice, and he will gain a quality of his choice, basically of our choice for him. And it's not going to be till further notice. It'll just be for this final round. So Carson Rodell is a king and a shaper and a champion and a hero. Semi-putter, so basically a neutral putter. Let's give him gold putting. That's going to help him out a lot. So he will be gold. I'm going to have to make a little reminder of that for me. So now Harley Villanueva. So he will come off of the caddy chart, and then a 5 is he's going to gain extra control and a potential for till further notice. This is another one that that's Jimmy Kimes had it. So this is Harley Villanueva, but it's only for this round. And extra control means that a white 4 will get the golfer control that has extra control. So, if you didn't see the previous tournament where Jimmy Kimes was involved, where that was in effect. So here is Kenji Morita. Well, 1-3. So 1, caddy again, 3. Start the round with 3 blue chips on the green die. So he's going to get 3 blue chips to start. So Kenji is 1 back at +2. Now Nick Yarlett. So 4 and 4. Clubhouse 4. Start the round with die. That's 2 red chips. So he's going to have red chips. Nick Yarlett is at, well, he's tied for the lead, but he's going to have 2 blue chips. And then Mateo Soto, also in the lead. So 6 and 5. Internal, 5 is rust putter. So Mateo Soto goes from being a gold putter to a rust putter, and that is going to damage him greatly. That's probably that's really the only good quality he has on his card there, other than his tournament rating. And without that gold, he is going to struggle. So, let's also real quick get our weather, which we then take from the game book on the back cover. There is a weather effects chart, and we are in June, and we are in, let's see, what do we want to call this? New England? I guess we'll call this New England. It would either be that or, no, it's not subarctic, it's humid northern continental. Yeah, I think that works. Not central U.S., not U.S. Great Lakes. So we're going to go with New England. June, we've got a potential for rain, wind, exemplary conditions, firm greens or slow greens. U.S. Open, if we get slow greens, I'm probably going to scream, but 25 is going to be nothing, so that is good. So this Founders Golf Club in links is probably carded in a way that is going to be pretty difficult. And that's another thing that we will do. So no wind effects there. Let's roll this. So one last thing we can do. Windy today. Roll 1 die before the first group tees off. 1, windy conditions. 6, calm conditions. Otherwise, normal conditions. Decide or die, roll on all windy results. So windy results are this little windy thing, which is this guy right here. So let's roll this die. And it's a 1. It is going to be windy. So every time we end up on these guys, it's going to be windy. So this is going to make it even tougher. Okay, so I'm going to set up my leaderboard. We won't be playing this until probably Wednesday night. But anyway, that's the way this is shaping up. I hope you can. Well, let's do this real quick, as best we can. So your leaderboard for the start of the final round is going to be Carson Rodell, Palmiro Cavallari, Nick Yarlett, Mateo Soto at +1. 1 behind them, Martin Van Dyke, Kenji Morita, Gooch Wilborg, then Dustin Emmerich and Greer Copeland the third +3. That's 2 behind, and then 3 back, Harley Villanueva, Yun Lee Song, and Gareth Leonard. It is going to be windy here, so if you look at this is what the card says. Windy today. We rolled a 1, so that means windy conditions. And so anytime that we get this little guy here, it's going to be it's going to be windy. And so I'm going to have to figure out well, let's see, windy. So on those holes, let's take a look at this chart here. So windy conditions, all golfers get duffer and utility. So anytime that we roll, like let's say a 14 on hole 1, the golfer who gets that roll will have duffer or utility qualities. So that could impact some of their further checkoffs. So it's probably going to be a tough round here. +3 will probably be the score we end up with, given everything. It's going to be tough because the way that it sets up. I mean, it's actually good that we didn't get any plus or A pluses, because I think my assumption is that it would be difficult to get down to +3 from -1 or even. You probably would end up with somebody at +1. But I've never played in. I played in windy conditions, but I'm assuming. Oh, it tells you right here. Windy result. Oh, I see. I'm wrong. So it shows at the bottom of the card here, windy result in. Oh wait, yeah. So windy result. That's the same thing as over here. If it were calm, then it would be a golf cam course, but we're not doing that anyway. I'm going on and on. So I'm going to set up my score sheet. I'm going to get everything squared away, and we'll see you probably Wednesday night for maybe Wednesday night and Thursday night to try to get a big bunch of this rolled out. We'll see how they do at Founders Golf Club and Links in Southampton, New York. Till then, thank you for checking us out, watching this third round simulation of the 2018 American Open. As I said earlier, if you have interest in this game, you can check out the plaay.com website. They not only have History Maker Golf, they have all sorts of other games, everything from baseball to bowling. If you ever thought to yourself, man, I'd love to have a bowling tabletop game, they've got one. And I'm not shilling for them, just to try and make it clear. I'm just telling you and trying to give you information in case you're interested. So see you Wednesday with the first few holes of this tournament. Until then, enjoy your tabletop sports. And if you have any comments, questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to explain as best I can. Thanks, and see you soon.